You know how this works now. I just speak the truth because that's what people need to know. And if I can just save one person by me being truthful, I know I've done a good deed for the day. But today I'm going to probably talk about an incident what happened 5 years ago to finally, I think, make me spill over the edge and actually start telling people about the way I actually feel. Because I've been hiding that I had borderline personality disorder for I think 25 years, and scared of this stigmatization and scared about what people really think of it, and even not even telling my wife because I never wanted her to judge me or even her to think the worst of me because that's the way I felt. I felt embarrassed. I hated myself. I hate what I've become. And this one thing sent me over the edge. So, around about 5 years ago, I was a duty night manager at a well-known supermarket, high supermarket, and I was a good little manager. I think I did a good job. And we did a management restructure, and I failed my interview for my job I'd been doing for 5 years. Uh, and I was totally embarrassed. I was totally crippled by this, and I never wanted to tell my wife the way I felt, and I was so embarrassed. So they put me on a stepping down period, which I never told her about because of embarrassment. So I would come home every morning and wait for my wife to go to work, and I'm already suffering anyway with massive mental health issues anyway, and drink about probably 8 cans of lager every morning. And this quickly escalated and got out of control, because of that emptiness and the way I feel. And one morning, I drank a bit too much and I fell asleep. And that night, my wife came home from work, and I'd usually be up making tea. And at one time, I wasn't up, so she came upstairs and startled me and woke me up. And I punched her in the leg fairly hard, and she forgave me for it. But I can never forgive myself for hitting a woman because my father used to beat my mother. So I've already lost my job. I've hit my wife. I'm suffering massively. I'm hearing a voice. I'm drinking too much, and I just want to die. My life's over in my eyes. So I decided to go to the bridge. And I went to the bridge. I went to bed that night with my wife. It was my day off. And I went to bed that night to act normally. And waiting for it to go to sleep. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, I decided to walk to the bridge. And I was there for about 4 hours, screaming at the water. Just jump in. Nobody's gonna miss you. Just jump in. Nobody cares. So I was there. And what stopped me that day was I was thinking about what I'd do to the family. And I also actually quite weirdly thought about my dogs who I love to bits. So that's what stopped me that day, and my wife also, what I'd do to her. So obviously I wasn't ready for it. I hate myself for years for not having the courage to do this. I hate myself. I've messed everything up with my life, and I've even messed that up. And I'm on about I had hatred for it. I just didn't understand why I didn't have the courage to do it, or what thing. But a few years down the line, I've had the courage to start a mental health support group up for men and women, so they can just come along and they can talk about their story. Because, all people want to do, most people with depression and anxiety and other disorders just want to be heard. They just want to sit down and be in a room where people have some kind of understanding about how they feel. And it's as simple as that. They don't want counselling half the time. They just want to be heard. They just want somebody with a bit of empathy to understand what they're going through and be in that room with people. And that's why I do what I do. Now, I suffer with borderline personality disorder, and I have chronic moments of emptiness, and I often think about taking my own life. I haven't really gone into this in depth because I'd be on here for about an hour, but what saves me is not only my wife but my group Talk Tonight Selby, because of helping people, because if I can just help that one person and save that one person, I know I've done a fantastic job. And that's what spurs me on, that belief that my